Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Aura Shift. Today, I will be channeling higher spirit guide energy, and we will be asking the question, what guidance do they have for you? Remember that this is a collective reading, so take what resonates for you and act on what feels right. My intention is always for you to feel more clarity than you had before you left, because I feel like clarity of purpose, clarity of action is healing and helps you move to life with more confidence. Clearing the clutter energetically, mentally, and physically is always my goal. Reminder that I do use a playlist along with the reading, so if called, I will share what song is playing. Please, if you are enjoying my content, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I love hearing from you guys, and of course, it does amazing things to help my channel grow. Also, big love, big hearts to all who have been watching and commenting. I love you all so much. So with that, let's get started. We have 3 decks that we're working with today. The first deck is the Herbal Astrology deck, and we have Raw Fluorite. It's very pretty. And then we have the Moonology deck with Howlite. And then we have the Egyptian Gods Oracle with Malachite. All right, so take a deep breath. Let's see which deck, which pile calls out to you. Pick your deck, and we're going to start with pile 1 now. Welcome, pile 1. Let's find out what guidance your spirit guides have for you today. What do the spirit guides want us to know for pile 1? Okay. We have Milk Thistle, Babansana, Ayahuasca. So we have Peaceful Warrior, Trust, and Rebirth. So okay, so pile 1. So this card makes me feel, I want to talk about nourishment. I want to talk about allowing yourself to be nourished by, it feels like I feel a mother figure there. And then we have Babansana, which is trust. And this feels like trusting the cosmos, trusting the magic of the universe, trusting that all things are in alignment, trusting that you are being guided, supported. Now, many of you know, some of you don't, but I've been a healer for a really long time, and healing is always going to be, I think, a part of my always working with healing in some aspect. And so I'm saying that because I know that I talk about healing a lot if you've watched any of my other videos, but this definitely feels like healing again. If you have lost your mother, if your mother is on the other side, if you are someone who has lost a child or has lost someone that you cared for, physically cared for, or who physically cared for you, I feel like this reading is really talking to you. There's a lot of birth inference here because we have the mother with the milk. We have DNA, which to me is like passing on your genes, your connection to those who came before you, and the connection that those who will come after will have to you, that long line of ancestry. And then we have ayahuasca birth, and we actually see the fetus there, ayahuasca rebirth. And it just feels like I want to talk about this idea of rebirthing who you are now after going through, I'm just going to bring these down so you can see them a little better. after going through this loss and feeling a sense of loss and a need to heal from the loss. And the thing is that it's almost like the universe wants to, I'm feeling this really loving, sweet energy coming from your spirit guides. They want to nurture you. They want you to know that you're being held by them, that you're being replenished by them. And if you are feeling this sense of brokenheartedness, this sense having a hole, like something is missing in your life or something being taken away from you, this healing is going to fill you back up again. Your spirit guides want to remind you that you are surrounded by those who have come before you and that your DNA is your strength. You have those who have gone through many different things that have been maybe more difficult than what you are going through now. And they survived. They survived. And that's why you're here. You contain all of the strength of those who have come before you. There it is. That's what I'm trying to say. You contain all of the strength of those who come before you, and they are working in the other realms, in the spirit world, from the spirit world, to bring healing to you, to remind you that you're supported, to help you actually feel supported, and to open the door to communication with them, open the door to you feeling their presence and the connection to them. If you're open to going into meditation to visit with those who have passed, to visit with your spirit guides, they are there. They're ready to help you through this process. They're ready to give you some deeper and greater wisdom and really begin the healing of your heart. This reading feels so magical to me and so special. It is such a beautiful reminder of our connection to the spirit world and how much we really are in relationship and in collaboration with them. And you're being reminded that they see what you've been going through. You're not alone. And there's a need for you to, we're on a journey, peaceful warrior, right? We're on a journey to peace, but you will need to trust that there is peace on the other side of this and to keep walking towards it, just to keep going. There is hope on the other side of this, and there's hope now. It's actually, if you can allow yourself to tap into it, actually just even knowing, just being open to the idea that this is happening is something that will help facilitate the healing even faster. Just being open to the magic of healing, being open to your ancestors, to your spirit guide for healing. Such a beautiful, powerful card here with this ayahuasca read. I'm really feeling drawn to the color purple too. There's purple through these two cards here, and it feels really allowing yourself to tap into your third eye wisdom. Meditations that that get you in alignment with your third eye, that help you open your third eye, help you open to your own intuition and your own visioning, is really going to help you feel more connected to those higher beings that are wanting to support you through this process and what you're going through right now. I think that wearing the color purple, connecting with the color purple, maybe wearing purple clothes, wearing amethyst crystal, using lavender oil, essential oil, all those are different ways that you can tap into the energy of purple. And this energetic imprint of purple is really what you need. It helps open your third eye and helps connect you to the deeper parts of your intuition and your connection to your higher self and to your spirit guides. But really, we're talking a lot more about those really higher beings. And I don't know if you're someone who works with angels. It feels like your angels are also calling out to you to remind you that they are here for you. They are holding you. They are speaking to you. They are sending you healing. I feel like you've had a really big change, something so big that it's caused you to rethink about who you are as a person, who you are in this world, how you fit into the world now with this change. Your spirit guides are reminding you that we are reborn over and over. We're reborn several times in one lifetime. Different changes to our environment, to our personality, to if you know, for example, if you're a parent and then you have a baby, and then all of a sudden you're a whole new person than you were before you had the baby, and then the baby grows up and they leave, and then you're a whole different person. Then you have grandkids maybe, and then you're a whole different person. So, you know, throughout life, you go through these rebirths, and it feels like I'm speaking to someone who is going through that, one of those phases in your life. And you're being reminded that this is natural. It's natural to go through this rebirth, and it's really powerful. This is a really powerful rebirth. Healing of wounds, deep wounds that you have had or that you have recently gained. And those wounds will be healed through your spirit guides, through your higher self, through your angels, through those higher beings that work with you on a regular. And they want you to remember that they are there. They're there watching you and supporting. Okay, so let's see if we can get some more information. Okay, dear one. So I feel that we are definitely getting confirmation about this being about a mothering energy. And a feeling of being left alone, a feeling of not having everything you need, and that affecting the way you see your legacy, the way you see your life and what your life looks like in years to come. And you're disappointed by this outcome. And I think that's fair. I mean, we have these, you know, it's okay to have dreams and wishes. And when there is a big change in your life and it doesn't align with what you thought was going to be, it's, you know, there's a feeling of disappointment. The narrative that you had for yourself and your life is changed. You know, Pile One, I'm really sorry that you've gone through this big heartbreak and that it was just so challenging, that it's been such a ups. And I really wish for your heart to be healed here. But you are being supported. Your spirit guides are mothering you. They are the ones who are coming forward to say that you're not alone. Okay, so let's find out some more information. What else, spirit guides, do you want to say to Pile One? Oops, card coming out there. Okay. August, Flute, Mountain, Sunrise, and Lion. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So they're talking about, you know, the disappointment in a friend and a lover or a lover, major challenge to overcome, which we've talked about, this feeling of loss, this feeling of deep pain, deep hurt. And then we've got new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start, because they're reminding you that there's a rebirth that's coming for you. There is a new experience in your life that's coming for you. And it's time to act. I think this is really talking about how you need to go inward. This, what I was talking about with the meditation, this Knight of Cups wants me to talk about drinking water, taking in, the intuitive, because water for me is it's a vessel. It holds energy. It holds spirit. It's also the way that you can embrace your intuition. Water is a symbol of intuitive energy, connection to the femininity, to the receptive nature of water. When we have this mother, we have the milk, we have the empress, and then I'm really wanting to talk about drinking water. So, I was talking about that in another reading too, but in this case, not necessarily for health reasons, but to connect with your intuition at a deeper level. A lot of people don't realize that when you are dehydrated, it's not as easy to go into meditation and really connect to your yin source, the part of you that is receptive, the part of you that can receive information and channel messages from your spirit team. And so I think that is a big piece of this. And I think it's really time for you to take action on that and step into it. I actually think you've been thinking about that recently. You've been thinking about, oh, I really want to start meditating. And, I don't know if I can stick with this. I don't know if I really want to start. Just start. It's okay if you don't stick with it, because you could stop doing it and then start doing it again. So don't let that stop you from beginning. It's time to step into the next phase of this grief process. And I'm feeling like, this August is coming up because it feels like it's related to the opening for you. So you may actually find a new opportunity come up in August. 5 is popping into my head. August 5 is popping into my head. I don't know why. Maybe that's someone's birthday. That would make sense if we have August 5th and we have the lion. That's Leo season. And we have the sun. So I feel like we could be talking to a spirit guide for a Leo, the lion, maybe born around August. I mean, you never want to hear that you have a major challenge to overcome, right? You never want to hear, hey, you got this mountain to climb. But you could look at it a number of ways. One way is to look at it like, man, I have this huge thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. It's just too much. But at the beginning of an expedition, I was just watching something earlier today, and they were talking about climbing a mountain. And this woman was so excited to climb this mountain. It was the beginning of this really interesting and, exciting adventure. And I know that might seem a little too optimistic, but you are in charge of how you process what you're going through. You're in charge of how you think about it. And you could begin to contemplate the idea of considering it an adventure. Because as you go through this process of opening your heart, tuning into your intuition, unlocking your connection to your spirit guides, to your higher self, to those higher beings that are working with you, and you dive down deep and rebirth who you are right now from this loss, from this grief, from this process, this situation that you are processing through, you're going to become someone else on the other side of that. And it is work. But this reading, your spirit guides are saying, we are here. We're with you. We're helping you. And I think when you are able to connect into them, to feel them more, to hear them more, to look for the signs and symbols that they put out to remind you that, hey, we're here. You might see something on a billboard. You might see, a sign on this. I feel like I want to talk about a sign on the side of a building. And they're all messages. All of those things are messages for you. That's the way that spirit guides can speak to you. They're going to speak to you through whatever you're most receptive of. So if you're someone who's a music lover and you just always got music on, they're going to speak to you through the songs, because that's what your consciousness is filled up with. Speaking of songs, the song that's on right now for our playlist is I've Been Working, and by Luther Vandross. And I think that's just reminding us that, yeah, it is a little bit of work, but you can do it, and you have support, right? You have support, and you want to be present for this process. You want to be present for the awakening. Yes. Awakening. That's the right word. You are about to go through an awakening that comes out of this process. I have these little cute, sweet cards that I got. And I want to pull one for you. It's so cute. Daily Magic. I love these little things. I found them in my drawer. And let's see what comes up for you. They're so tiny. Look at that. Oh, okay. I was going to pick one, but I see that we picked three. Okay, so we got absolutely nothing. Master of frequency. Ever expansive you. Ooh. Absolutely nothing makes me want to say that you don't have to do anything to be loved by your spirit team. You don't have to do anything for them to look out for you, for them to support you and take you where you need to go. You are already valuable and worthy and all of the things, but it's your choice how you view this. You know, look at this, your choice: victim of circumstances or master of frequency. So you can shift the way you're viewing this process. I know that you've been through a heartbreak, and I know that it's been very difficult, and it has been something that's kind of taken you off balance, but you have the opportunity to have a brand new awakening, an opportunity to heal and not feel the kind of despair that you may have been in the past. You can remember, look at this, ever expansive, infinitely deep. That's you. That to me reminds me of the ayahuasca card, because it makes me want to talk about being limitless, being a part of the all, that every cell in your body is intertwined. Every cell in your body is intertwined with the entire universe, with every plant, with every other being, with every star, with every planet, that you are boundless. And right now you're feeling a little contracted. You're not feeling that boundlessness, but through this process of opening your third eye, there's a reawakening for you. And you will remember how expansive you really are, and how much support that you always have, and how much love that you always have from your spirit guides. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I hope that made sense. And please let me know in the comments if you picked pile 1. Ashe. Welcome pile 2 with the Moonology deck and the Howlite. Welcome, welcome. Let's find out what your spirit guides want you to know right now. What guidance do your spirit guides have for you, pile 2? Pile 2, what guidance do the spirit guides have for pile 2? Right. Win-win outcome is forecast. Emotions are running high. And prosperity lies ahead. Wow, pile 2, you guys are out here handling business. Pull it down so you can see it. All right, so wow, this is a really amazing time for you, pile 2. You have been working on something. You have been a busy little beaver, and you're excited, really excited, and it's really leading into something positive. Literally, prosperity is what it's leading into. So the first card is Libra. So we're often talking about relationships, love, partnerships, and that type of thing. It could be a relationship, a romantic relationship. It could also be a professional relationship. And we're also talking about balancing that. So we could be talking about balancing your needs with the needs of someone else, balancing a give and take in a relationship. It also may be a relationship could be ending, changing in some way. The balance may be shifting. It could be that there is a breakup happening at this time. It could be changing significantly, or it could be on increase because we're at full moon. So maybe you are in a relationship that is now being taken to the next level. And then we have emotions are running high. So the super moon is a huge moon. It's like, it looks like it's taking up the whole sky. You can't deny it, right? You can't deny that it's there. So the super moon is, so if you're trying to find an answer to something, you're like, is it, should I? The answer is usually yes when you get this type of card, because it's like right there in your face. Or if you're trying to figure something out and you're like, I can't figure out why, such and such. The answer is probably right under your nose, right there. And you are, for whatever reason, not looking at it, not seeing it. So it's a reminder to kind of stop for a second and think, observe, and be present, because you probably already have the answer that you're looking for. But it also feels like, just with these two cards, though, it does kind of more lean to a positive change in a relationship that is now becoming bigger, more seen. Maybe you're in a relationship, you haven't been official. And I feel like this could be talking about the relationship changing and becoming more official. It also could be talking about, well, maybe you haven't told people that you're in this relationship yet, and now I could see it being verbalized, or with a larger group of people actually being seen, like the super. But then we bring in this new moon in Taurus, and we're talking about prosperity. And that makes me think about a business or business venture, something you've been trying to create, manifest. The song that's on right now is Do It Now. A lucrative mutual arrangement, business arrangement is what is popping in. Just remember, Taurus, make sure that you are seeing what's really there, that you get all the information. It's like the success is there, but you can't really see it yet. So one, have faith and let it ride. You might be feeling impatient, actually, this arrangement, and like wanting something to happen, like wanting, let's get this popping. I think you actually can move it forward. You just need to make sure you have all the information. Let me get some more information. Let me get some more information here. See what else we can find out. What else do our spirit guides, your spirit guides, pile 2 spirit guides, what else do you want to share? Can you? Okay, so I do more and more feel like we could be talking about a collaboration with some other people. And it is making me think a little bit more about business. So Pal 2, you may be trying to figure out your way through an expansion of your business, maybe getting yourself more visibility, and everything that you need to make this transition is that you just need to believe that you can have the Newman and Taurus. You're in a prosperity lies ahead. You're kind of in a manifesting situation. The prospect of success is there, and it's very likely. It's likely that you will have success. And what's needed is for you to go after it. Get clear on what you want. Get very clear on what you want, and then start making moves towards it. Because you have this Ace of Swords here, it's confirming that success is there. It's available to you. Clarity. when you get clarity, you will be able to attract more of what you want. So as you're working on these collaborations, making sure that you are setting your right boundaries. Okay. You don't, the balance, making sure that you're getting what you need and that there's a give and take and that you're not giving too much or taking too much in this arrangement. But it feels like because the Nine of Wands is here that we do want to make sure that we are maintaining our boundaries, but also just stay steady on it, stay steady on your course. There may be a temporary, you may be in a position where you don't have any money right now, or there's a financial loss or a sense of loss, or maybe you're afraid that you're going to have a financial loss. And so that I think is affecting your clarity about how to move forward, or whether, I guess how to find the balance. I want to encourage you to keep going. And to remember that you're not alone. You have your spirit guides. They're there supporting you. You're not alone in this process, and they are bringing opportunities, clarity, and ideas to you as well to help you move towards this prosperity that is already ready for you. Let's get some more information. Okay. Okay, so I feel like we're getting a little bit more clarity here about some things. So we have vulture, depression, anxiety, worry that someone's against you. Feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere. Someone, parrot, someone will gossip about all your secrets. Rooster, an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. And lobster, financial pinch. So, this feels related. There's someone you know is independable, gossip about your secrets, arrogant, boastful person. So I don't know if you've had a business dealings with someone in the past, business dealings or a relationship with someone in the past who was just really kind of tainted your optimism about working with other people. Maybe they caused you to have some mistrust. Right? Depression, anxiety, worry that what happened because of this is you have become more wary of working with other people, wary of that someone, is not have your best interest in life. I think that's slowing you down. That's what's putting you in this financial pinch. It feels like, it feel like it's confirming that you're right now maybe not having the finances that you want. And there's a hesitation of working with others, working with the group. There's worry, there's gossip. Yes. So this is all really, I feel like this, in this Nine of Wands, she's looking over at this group of friends here, and she's not impressed. She's not so sure that she wants to be part of that. And so she'd rather kind of walk this way and stay safe. But what's going on is it blocks your opportunities. And I think that right now there is an opening for you to, like I said, prosperity lies ahead. It's right there. There's a need for the confidence to come out. There's a need for you to take a chance and do something that you're not quite comfortable with, but it's going to unlock your movement, because I feel like you might be feeling a little bit stagnant right now. Climbing towards success. Hidden secrets can harm you. Yeah, I think like just being honest with yourself, about how you're feeling. So if you are feeling a little scared to work with other people, scared that you might get hurt, it's okay to admit that. Admit it to yourself, and then you can work on it because it's out there in the open. You can just be honest about that. Like, hey, I've had some bad experiences in the past, and then ask the questions that you need to ask so you can have more clarity and more comfort working with someone, or deciding, okay, no, this is really not a good person for me to work with. Shark, take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. So it's like you have this bank, you have like a bank account waiting for you with money in it, and you've got to climb towards that. You've got to work your way over to that from where you are right now, but it's there, which is amazing. It's right there. And I'm really excited for you, Paul, too, that it's right there. We have a little bit of work to do, but this win-win outcome, the emotions are high, like the super moon being right there and the prosperity lies ahead. To me, it's really indicating success. And this is the work that you have to do. You need to allow yourself to trust or get comfortable with collaboration. Let go of some of the old feelings that you've had, some of the things that have happened in the past. And you learn from them. You don't just, obviously people say, let go of it, and I've even found myself feeling resistant to that statement. Just let go. How can I let go of that? It's not really letting go. It's like you deciding that this happened. And even though this thing happened, I'm going to allow myself to have a new experience, but I know more than I did last time. So I'll be able to I'll be more discerning this time. I'll know what I could do, what I should do. And I'll know better than I knew last time. Right. The song that's on right now is Ladies Night by Kool and the Gang. And it's making me feel like you need to entertain the idea of getting a little more social. And I think it might help loosen you up a little bit. This might be a good time for you to get some more social dates on the calendar. Get out a little bit, and that's gonna open it up too. That's gonna help you to raise your vibration. As soon as you raise that vibration, that's gonna bring more clarity. That makes sense. Like your vibration might be a little bit low right now. The energy that you give off might be a little bit lower because you have felt like, slighted, like, somebody did you wrong. You have to work your way, you have to climb your way out of that. And one of the ways I think Spirit is suggesting is that you get out and do something fun. I'm going to be adding these cute little cards that I found in my drawer that I forgot that I loved. And I was like, I really want to use these cards. And then I put them away. But they're so cute. So I'm going to add a few of these and see what our final message is from. You are just one decision away from a magically different life, friends. Oh, I love that for you guys. I feel like that sums it up. One decision away from a magically different life. Prosperity is rolling in, and you just need to welcome it in by opening yourself up to life. Open yourself up to others. Open yourself up to the possibility of prosperity, tongue twister, and of collaborators. You're not by yourself. Pile 2. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that. And I hope it really helps you move forward. Let me know in the comments if this was your pile, if you picked pile 2. And I'll see you next time. Ashe. Welcome, pile 3, with the Malachite and the Egyptian gods oracle. Let's find out what your spirit guides want you to know. What guidance do you all have for pile 3, spirit guides? Welcoming the spirit guides in for pile 3. All right. Okay. These are a little flexible, so you get a little bit of a glare. So I'm sorry if you can't see them all the way. So we have Thoth, wholeness, Satet, fruitfulness, and then we have Apophis, darkness. Okay, so we have wholeness, fruitfulness, and darkness. And we can see that we have our deity here writing, scribing. And Thoth or Tahuti also is called, is the keeper of the information, the keeper of the knowledge. Many times we take action, we move on ideas, we move on decisions without enough information. And in this case, I believe the information is spiritual information. It is guidance from God, guidance from higher power, higher guidance from your higher self. And when you have this type of information, when you are starting from a point of truth, because that's another of his key words, then you are able to have fruitfulness. You are able to create bounty. Satet has to do fertility. We can see the Ankh here. We can see flowers growing. So there is balance that creates growth. There is balance. There is a, as we say, wholeness, that when you have everything you need, including the right information that you need, it is the key to fertility, to creating something from nothing. It's the key to abundance. It is how you can begin new projects, have new experiences, new relationships, is when you know what you need to know. Because this card is about living in blindness, not having the information. Because when you make decisions without the proper information, sometimes you have to go back and repeat something, right? And I think the spirit guides are really want to talk to you about almost research, but it's the kind of research that you do internally. Even something like this would, a tarot reading, even something like this, a spiritual reading, an intuitive reading, is gathering information from higher power, using that information to move forward on your new ideas, new adventures. And that is how you maintain your balance and your wholeness. Let's get some more information. Oh, that's loud. Strength. 10 of Pentacles. 2 of Cups. 9 of Wands. Okay, so I really feel like I want to talk about a relationship, finances in a relationship. I feel like maybe one partner was less secure financially than the other partner, or is less secure financially than the other partner. I feel like it caused kind of like this negative energy in the relationship. A feeling of this situation made the relationship made the relationship a lot of work. It's almost like the person always had to defend themselves. It meant that the relationship was never, or isn't very strong, or doesn't have, it feels unbalanced, if that makes sense. And I feel like that was just very exhausting. It's made the relationship be very exhausting. And I think that's kind of what this up here is talking about, that you might be feeling confused about what to do. Thoth is really talking about like going, like I said, going for higher counsel, going for counsel and getting some support around what to do, how to be bountiful, if you will. And I think it's really left you in a state of, it's left you in a mentally dark place. The song was just on, it just changed. It was Get Paid. And now the song that is on is Shifting Gears. So that was just confirmation that I was talking about money. I didn't get a chance to say it when it, but yeah, I do feel there's frustration around finances in this relationship. And now in order to have this fruitfulness, now in order to have these, what I was seeing was, you know, we have these trees here, there's a tree here, these are little trees with baby branches on them. You know, in order for you to sprout, to begin to grow again, to have the abundance that you're looking for. I mean, it feels like there's been stunted growth. You know what I mean? There's growth that can happen here, growth internally, with confidence. Pile 3, I just want to say that you are worthy, even if you're not as financially secure as your partner. And you're brave for staying in a situation like that, and for having compassion for your partner, and for having compassion for yourself. And that's what you need here. You need to have compassion for yourself, because there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your life up to this point. I do feel like I want to bring up motherhood here, because we have this mother, and it almost feels like, you know, in this card, she's taking care of the lion. You know, I know the strength card, but just this image, it makes me want to feel like she's taking care of that lion. She's making sure that he's safe, secure, even though he is a beast, right? He is a handful. But it takes a lot to nurture. It takes a lot to be a nurturer in that environment. And I feel like you are a nurturer. You are someone who has been looking out and actually cultivating so many things over your lifetime. Maybe even being the person that people come to for information, that people come to for guidance. And you've been that person. And now you're trying to figure out, how do you move forward given the current circumstances? And I mean, it's like a classic situation sometimes, where there's one partner who in a relationship may make less money than the other partner, or maybe they were in a caregiving role. And unless you've been a caregiver for many people or for a long time, or actually don't have to do either. It doesn't have to be a lot of people, and it doesn't have to be a long time, but it's hard to understand how much energy that is expended in that role. And so I think you just need to know that the nurturing that you have been giving out is valuable beyond words. And so finances is one thing, but nurturing people and situations is something else. And it's not something that necessarily can be validated through monetary means. So I just want to say that. Now you've gotten to the point where you've had to be really resilient. You've been doing a lot of work, right? And at this point, I feel like you might be feeling kind of tired. You might be feeling exhausted, the exhaustion of just, you know, doing whatever it is you've been doing just in your life, but also this taming of the beast thing around the finances, and how that has left the relationship that you're in unbalanced. It's been draining. You may be feeling a lot of fatigue from that. All right, let's see what more information can we gain from our tea leaf cards. Okay, spirit guides for pile 3. What more do you have to say? Great passion. Taking a vacation, physically or mentally. psychic ability, trust your intuition. And grasshopper, situations in the balance that require careful handling. So, okay, so again, look, we have another flower plant. Another one on the grasshopper. No, Pile 3, I'm not feeling like you have great passion right now for the whole thing. But there is passion deep inside you. And it needs to be brought up to the surface. This Apophis, he lives under the earth, underground, right? And he's below the surface. Can't be seen. But I feel like we want to flip that and we want to be seen. We want to bring those passions up to the surface so that you can really feel what it is you want to do, you have to reawaken your inspiration. And I think that can happen if you were to take a break. Taking a vacation physically or mentally. I know we were talking about finances and there being a lower amount than we would like. But you can also do a vacation that is you can do an intentional vacation where you take time away from the things that occupy your mind so much. Or a vacation where you go stay with a friend and get out of your own home. I do think that you have an intuitive sense about what would work really well in the situation, or what would help you move forward, or what you might want to do, or what you should do about the situation. And so the cards are reminding you, and your spirit guides are reminding you to trust that intuition and to take a chance on following it. It might feel like a risk to follow it, but I do feel like it's the right thing to do because it's going to open up some more answers for you. And then with grasshopper, situations in the balance that require careful handling. Yes, I feel like this is a tricky situation that you're in, and you do need to spend some time figuring your way through it. And if you were to give yourself a little break mentally, I think that you're going to get an intuitive hit about how to move forward or what to do. And that's going to reawaken your passion for life, for living, and for enjoying your experience here on this earth. Wish will not be granted. Broken wishbone. Broken wishbone. Wish will not be granted. Well, okay. So you still may have challenges with the money a little bit. And I see that you're thinking about the money. You're thinking about how to create this new situation for yourself. I mean, you may have to step away from the relationship or from the idea that you had about it or yourself. And so we have broken wishbone, wish not be granted, wealth, throne, position of authority, temptation will test you, apple, and wreath, sorrow over a loss. So, I mean, I think there's a general sorrow here of having a situation that is less than ideal and maybe even, really disappointing. And sorrow over a loss just makes me feel like you will have to let go of something here. So it could be the relationship, or it could be the way that you think about the relationship, the way you think about yourself, that is not, and that may be more difficult in terms of changing your mind about it. And I would say, like, just because your partner is more financially stable than you, I don't necessarily think you have to look at them as being an authority figure over you. Unfortunately, many people see money as authority. But that does not have to be the case. So be mindful the way that you think about that. Be mindful of falling into a pattern that you've already found does not work for you. Someone may come to you with an offer, and I'm not sure that that offer is the right thing for you to do. August again. The last two readings, we've had the Nine of Wands, we had the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like I had the Two of Cups too, and we had August. So there must be some really great energy coming around in August, or some really there's a culmination of energy. I'll say that. But to me, when I see this, I feel like the clouds are clearing in August. Like I feel like there were clouds there, and it feels like they're clearing. That's what I see when I see that card. So it feels like whatever confusion that you've had throughout these coming months, that there will be some clarity about all of it in August. Okay. And shield, you need to defend yourself. So just all right. So pile 3, what do we got? We have a situation where you've been feeling a little bit less than whole, not really feeling yourself, a little confused about your, I think you've been maybe confused about your worth. I'm feeling like I could be talking to someone who is a caregiver, a parent, a mother, and that this caregiving kind of put you in a situation where maybe you weren't as financially stable as your partner, because it does feel like we're definitely talking about a couple and in a partnership where you did not bring as much financially to the table. It feels like you're someone who has a lot of inner strength, a lot of compassion. You're someone who people come to for support. You have an important job, and it is a lot of work to do that, in addition to feeling like you have to defend yourself to your partner about your finances. And I feel like that kind of left you in a place of feeling not very hopeful or motivated or passionate about, like who you are and what you bring to the table. It may have even left you in a dark place, feeling of wanting to hide. And the guidance from your spirit guides is that it's a good time now to take a little break away from all of this, to use your intuition, trust yourself, trust your intuition, and make sure that you don't kind of put anybody on a pedestal just because they have more money, more finances, because you have the potential to bring all of that stuff to you. And there does feel like there's going to be a clearing coming up in August over that. But the idea that, this isn't what you wanted for this situation is, bringing up some feelings of sorrow, some feelings of loss, some feelings of sadness. Be mindful of anyone offering you something that doesn't feel quite right, because remember, we're going to use our intuition, and don't let yourself be thrown off by the idea of, okay, maybe this can make money, or maybe this can, put me in a better position, because it could distort your intuition by this feeling of lack, right? And making sure you're protecting yourself from any negative energies, because it's draining you. Let's see. I have this other little cute deck that I found in my drawer that I put away to use later. And it's called Daily Magic. It's so cute. And I'm going to pull our final word. Spirit guides, what do you have as your final word for pile 3? Oh, it's so hard to shuffle these little cuties. Wouldn't you know that my camera cut off right as I pulled these cards. So these are the cards I just pulled from the little cutie deck that I was talking about. The only way to have a friend is to be one. Do something about that today. Yes, yes, yes. Get the point yet? And when would be a good time? Now. And so I feel like this is really saying to remember that you are an amazing person. You have done so much for so many people. You have been that rock that people have needed. You've given compassionate compassionately to others and loved and supported those around you. And now it's time for you to be a friend to yourself. It's time for you to, right now is a good time to say yes to you, to who you are, to what you need. But also just to love and accept yourself for who you are right now, because your worth does not revolve around how much money you make. You're worthy whether you're broke or a millionaire. So that is our final guidance from our spirit guides. Thank you so much, spirit guides, for being here with group pile 3. See you next time. Ashe.